Hello guys, welcome back to YTGC Now, and this time around we're going to talk about a franchise that hasn't been, well, mainly known, of course, for the Sega Genesis in the 16-bit era, and that's none other than Toejam and Earl. Now, Toejam and Earl to me at the time was a perfect kind of product of that time. You know, the rap, came into its own at that point and all that stuff, and Toejam and Earl was kind of an interesting menage, of all that, of culture at that time. And obviously some would say which of the three games they liked and some they didn't like over the time. But what has happened is Johnson, one of the co-creators of Toejam Earl, has announced they're developing a new Toejam Earl game, and they're doing a Kickstarter for it with the goal of $400,000. Currently at the time I looked, they were at $70,000 at the time. Obviously they got 29 days to go. And the reason they said they did Kickstarter is because they want to control the game. They want to make it the way they want to make it, and so they're going to fund it themselves and make it. But at the same time said they still have a cool relationship with Sega, and maybe they could do some cross thing there digitally. But obviously he co-owns it. Obviously the other creator owns it also, but he's not working on it. Just him and a small team is working on this game. And interesting, he wants it to be like kind of a hollow of the past, but obviously new features of today, obviously, right? One of the things of any game series is, and I know a lot of people love nostalgic about a series, but you got to add new elements to make it interesting. And in this case, in terms of new features elements for Toejam Earl, obviously adequately named Back in the Groove, there'll be travel back in time themes spanning new characters and old ones. More metagame features, including the ability to collect hats with special abilities. New flying present items, new co-op features including the ability to shoot lure earthlings away from a friend, and the option to open a present that gives your buddy more life, and a nighttime filter. So these are some of the new things they're looking at. Now again, this game is early in development, so there's really a lot to show, and not everything's been finalized. So to sit there and say, oh, this will, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, it's still early on. Right now they have to get funding for it. Up to this point, they've funded the game themselves making it, and now they've gone to Kickstarter to obviously get it done. Now they won't commit to a launch date right now, because right now they're not sure. And I think I hate it when, and I'm glad they're not doing it, because I hate it when people make a Kickstarter and set a date and they can't meet that date. Right? Don't announce a date until you're firmly sure the game is going to come out. And obviously, this has happened in the past where people get a Kickstarter, they make a promise, and they don't keep the date. For those who don't know, like the original Toejam Earl was out in 1991, followed up by, the sequel Panic and Funkatron in 1993, and then Toejam Earl 3 Mission to Earth in 2002. So it's been, 12 years since there's been a Toejam Earl game. So this was rather interesting, one of those series that a lot of people who had a Genesis remember, and it'll be interesting to see if they get funding and what kind of game this will be. Again, one of the reasons they did it was because of all the revival of retro right now, not only in game collecting, but obviously game companies bringing back the retro games and virtual consoles, and these games being brought to the forefront. Obviously Toejam Earl has done really decent in digital sales, so that's led to them to do this and being able to do it again. And hopefully, again, this game gets made for the fans. I think any fan of any series, now this game should be happy that the possibility that their game could get another game in the series. I think one of the things I have when it comes to people bringing back retro series is I think they have too many higher expectations than are realistic. That truthfully, when you bring back a retro game, let's take Toejam Earl, why a lot of us know the game who around that time, and a lot of us played it, it will still be a niche in the sense that it will not sell millions and millions of copies of a current made game. It's just not going to happen, because there's a loyal fan base, but that fan base isn't that big. And some people argue with that, but it's the truth. Name me one retro game that has come back out recently, they brought back the series that digitally, whatever, that has come back and sold a lot, so much that people would notice, right? It doesn't happen that often. So it will be interesting to see if they get their funding first, obviously, and go from there. But if they get their funding, it'd be really cool to see a new Toejam Earl game. This thing will first come out for PC, then Linux, then Macs. They said that they're designing it with the Unity engine so that they can port it to as many consoles, as many platforms that they want to. So that is good. There's a chance that maybe we'll see this digitally on your console that you own, or obviously you'll see it on PC, Mac, and Linux. So what do you think about a new Toejam Earl game? I think it's really cool that it's happening. I played the original Toejam Earl. I enjoyed it a lot. I never played the second and third one, believe it or not. I think by the time they come out, there were other games out at the time that made me completely forget that those games were out. And if this came out, I would definitely check it out. So, what do you think about new Toejam Earl? Are you excited? Not excited? Do you hope they get their funding? Or are you one of those people that just don't like Kickstarter? I really think a lot of these games that people, truthfully, and this is what I've said for a while with developers, when it comes to like this and other games, when the fans talk they want a sequel, that, like, for example, I've said this and I'll say this example until I'm blue in the face. Mega Man Legend 3. If Capcom really wanted to throw it back in the fans' face, honestly, they would say, we're doing a Kickstarter, this is how much we need. If you want this game to be made, if we get this gold, then the game will be made. I think some of these games that people want, and when these games go to Kickstarter like this, they're going to be digital. They're just, physical is not going to happen. Which is another thing a lot of us have to get used to who like the physical version of games. But anyway, enough of me babbling on. What do you think about it, guys? And I will make another video soon. Thanks for watching.